We're streaming. Yeah.
Hello. Greetings, everybody. Sorry, we are late. We are fashionably late. We had like a little technical glitch, but we are here now and with our full-on beauty. So welcome and thanks so much for tuning in. I am Eugenia Aleynikova and I help people who are struggling in their sexual life to really unleash their true desires, celebrate their sensuality, so that they can enjoy more of juicy and passionate sex with or without a partner. And today I have got fabulous Naima and Tazima with me. So ladies, please introduce yourselves make yourselves known to these wonderful people who are joining us today.
Man, hey. We are, let me speak for myself. I know it's a we thing, but let me say, I am absolutely thrilled to be here. And hopefully there'll be some familiar faces that will show up here, that will say hi, that will benefit from what it is that we're doing here. And then some new faces who are, and when I say new faces, I'm talking specifically for women who have resonated with me in the past or who will resonate after seeing my face and hearing my voice for the very first time here today, who have been behind the scenes, loving the sexuality space, empowering women to become more of who they are. And as a result of our time here together today, we'll say, yes, I can do this. We'll say, yes, I am ready. We'll say, yes, how can I move on? How can I work with you all? How can I expand? How can I have more, do more, and become more? So I'm Naima Singletary, multiple six-figure wealth and womanhood mentor, and I am in the business of helping sex coaches come out powerfully and profitably. And so today's topic is about helping sex coaches come out powerfully and profitably. And so Eugenia, myself, and Tazima are all going to share our stories because we are at different levels of coming out, because there's levels to this. Who I am now is not the woman who I was 5 years ago, okay? Just like the woman who you are now is not the woman who you were 5 years ago. And so Eugenia is going to be sharing how she decided to come out within the last 90 days, 4 months. I'm going to be sharing how I decided to come out 5 years ago. And Tazima is going to be sharing how she officially came out within the last 2 years. So you can see that there really are levels to this and that ultimately you can win, both in power, both in money, and in happiness and fulfillment. So my first six figure, I'm just going to say this piece. So just to get it out there so you can decide if you want to stick around or not. A lot of sex coaches are women in the sexuality realm, whether they are tantra healers, tantrikas, transformational sensuality coaches and specialists are asking in some kind of a way, can I really be successful? Can I really be financially successful? Can I really come out with this? And I want you all to know for the record that I made my first six figures in the transformation space when I really came out. And I did it in a year, less than a year, when I really came out clearly that I was in the business of helping women heal sexual shame. I was front and center. So if that is you, and on some level, helping women come into sexual power, heal shame, heal trauma, and become more of who it is that they want to be, you can do it, you can win. And so I'm going to be sharing with you how I did that. And all of us are going to be sharing with you the levels that we're at. So that's my piece for now. And Tazima, I'll send it over to you.
Hello, everyone. I am so pleased to be here. I'm so excited. Yay. Naima, tagged me a few weeks ago and I was like, what's up? What's happening? What are you up to? And we chatted for a while, and then I started talking about what it was like to come out of the closet a couple years ago. And she was like, we need to talk about this. And it just kind of exploded. And I'm so pleased actually to be meeting Eugenia virtually. I'm really excited because it really feels, we got another thing coming up in a couple days that's another time zone crazy, Facebook Live thing planned. And I'm just like, this is a global movement, literally. It's not a game. It's not a game. I'm so pumped. But just to share a little bit about how I got here and why I'm so pumped is actually, I really, even though it's just been a couple of years that I've been fully out of the closet, there's a way that it was the coming out of the closet and it was the revealing of more fully of myself that actually helped me to start getting traction and actually coming out. I was thinking the other day about how as I was coming out, I was anticipating that there were going to be just so many people being like, ew, you know, why are you talking about sex? Why are you doing this? And actually, it's people really admire the fact that I came out to do this work. And I so appreciate the folks who are like, I wish I could do that. And I actually, part of the reason I'm doing this here is because I'm tired of hearing women say, I've studied this stuff my whole life. I wish I could do what you're doing. I'm here to say, the reason I'm able to do what I'm doing is because I came out of the closet. I mean, it's just a no-brainer. But a little bit of my backstory, I had been coaching holistic health related stuff for a long time, and folks kept asking me about dating and sex. So I was like, all right. Then I kind of switched to like life purpose kind of stuff. People kept asking me about dating and their sex life. So I'm like, okay, so fine. I'll talk about sex. I'll come out of the closet. Fine. Do you know who my dad is? Do you know who my family is? I had like this argument.
I'm gonna get a spanking.
I'm gonna get So it was really great to be able to share with folks my journey. And, you know, right now what I'm working on is, you know, women who are over 30, well, really over 40, who are in the dating space, and they're wanting to have sex and be safe about it. They're wanting to meet their mate and want to be smart about it. And they're tired of, they've had some shitty things happen. And like, how do you stay like committed to being in a committed relationship? And how do you have the sex that you want when you got the dating skills of a 19-year-old or whatever it is? So it can be a little tricky, but I help women to get the satisfaction that they want in the bedroom and beyond. And I help women talk to men in the way that they want to talk to them. And by the way, yeah, the way you talk to your girlfriends just doesn't work. So talk to me about that, inbox me. But that's only part of the story. What I'm really here to do is support other women who are considering being sex coaches, or they're sex coaches or sex educators, and they really want to be out there a lot more. And just to help you say, hey, I can do this, and then give you the tools. And that's what we're going to be doing. So I'm super pumped, and we can toss it back and forth here, but yeah, I'm super excited.
This right now cannot even contain the fullness of who we are. I feel like,
oh yeah,
like part of me feel like we're doing a disservice to people because there's so much more, and we're like on and excited, and we're going to have to end here in like 30 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
And so there's so much more here. Eugenia, I'll let you take it from here.
Well, we're gonna introduce what is available, and also let people ask questions if they are really interested and if they really want to take it further. Because what I found that since I came out as an intimacy and sex coach, people ask, it's like, you know, this was a journey for me, and I know that I have been going through that all my life, carrying intimacy and sexuality with me throughout, but actually been embarrassed to admit it publicly. Not even embarrassed, but more thinking what my family gonna think, you know, what my friends gonna think, you know, and this kind of thing, you know. It's like always kept kind of sexuality behind closed doors, when actually this is who I am in all my fullness, you know. And it
is such,
yes,
say, okay,
yes,
being in your presence nourishes me, Eugenia. Talking to you nourishes me. And if you were keeping that quiet, that power in you, the sexual liberation, the education, and the wisdom that you teach your clients, if you were keeping that hostage and hiding it, I wouldn't be able to benefit in that way, and I wouldn't want to be around you. You know, nobody would, only the loser, mediocre people would want to be around you. So thank you so much for coming out. And that goes for every other woman who's hiding. You're going to be so much more magnetic the way Eugenia is when you come out. So
absolutely. Thank you so much for the kind words. And you was actually there with me, you know, and being like part of my transformation, which I'm forever grateful, you know. And I know that I have gone through a lot. I've done a Facebook Live publicly, admitting all my sexual trauma, being sick and crying and hysterical and like beyond belief. Like when when I actually came clean to who I am publicly, it was ugly. It was ugly. You know, how, ladies, did you came out? You know, what brought you to come out as a sexual coach? How somebody would understand that, come on, really now I am a sexual coach, you know, and it's like I should follow this path. How, what are your stories?
Yeah, Tazima, you want to take that?
Yeah. So there was a time about before I came out officially. I was actually in a school for a sexuality practice, and I was learning kind of all this information about how. And I love, Eugenia, that you said being whole. This is who I am. This is the whole of me. And I know, Naima, you've shared this moment of like, this is me. This is really who I am. And there's that moment of truth where I'm like, okay, wait a second. I've been studying this stuff my whole life. I'm here in this school, and I'm like, I need support with coming out. And I asked some of the instructors and my colleagues who were kind of already out and doing their thing and much more visible than I was at that time. And they were like, oh, just do it. And I was like, wait, I don't know. Wait, what do you mean just do it? I don't understand what you mean, just do it. Oh, just say it. It's going to be fine. And I just didn't believe them. And they had different backgrounds from mine. They were much more open in their families and much more open in their lives. They had been in these sort of sex positive spaces for a lot longer than I had. So it was really tricky for me to feel like what I could do. A few years later, I found myself in a place where I wasn't making much money. I was loving what I was doing. Like, I was really liking the interactions that I had with people, but I just needed to take it up. I didn't understand why it felt so hard, and that it felt like a slog. And it was uphill everywhere. Every direction was uphill. And I was like, I don't even know where to start. But there was this moment where I was just like, wait a second. I have a special gift. There's a way that I talk about sex that is going to appeal to certain kinds of people who are going through certain kinds of things. And it was funny, I made a decision to go for the relationship that I wanted, because I was kind of dating here and there. And that's actually why I date. I talk to women who are wanting to date, who are over 35, over 40, is that I was in that place. And I was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to have a family? How am I going to get married? I'm too late, but I really want this. So I made this really huge decision, to the point of like, I'm going to have a baby. I ordered folate. I was like, I got the prenatals. I got like everything. I got the what do you call it? The fertility test. Like, I had gotten all this stuff because I was like, I am going to meet this man. It is going to happen. So I had this, like, coming out of the closet as a woman who wanted to have kids and who wanted to be married, which in the group that I was in, it was kind of taboo. It was like, they were a bunch of people who were like, free love, fuck everybody, you know, poly, this, that, and the other. And I was like, I want to be monogamous and have babies. And they were like, what? Yeah. So as I sort of came out with this desire, my whole practice shifted to people who were in long-term committed relationships, who wanted support. How can we have more intimacy? How can we have better sex? And I had the tools to give it to them. And I was like, wait a second, I can charge money for this, but I got to get more visible. So I really created a way of starting to put myself out there, let people know. I started going to networking meetings. I started connecting with people. I used all the tools that I had gotten from marketing gurus that had taught me various things before. I kind of put it all in the stew and kind of stirred it up and like just went out there and jumped, and stuff started coming. And I'm really excited to report. I want to share with people that, like, in the last quarter of 2017, I actually thought, it's the holidays, not much business is going to come through. I'll kind of hunker down and plan for 2018. I did the best 2 months between Thanksgiving, like the roll up to Thanksgiving, and December, all through Christmas, the holiday time. I did the best 2 months that I've ever done. And it was all because I just committed so deeply. I got really focused and connected with like my passion and let people know this is what I'm doing. I really care about you and I really want you to have a better life. I want you to have better sex. And like I've said this before, but working with the sexuality energy in my business was so good. And it's hard to explain to folks who don't know what I'm talking about exactly, but just know that being a sex coach just boosted my business itself, not just because it's freaky and it's cool and wow, you must have a great sex life or what, not that, but just working with the energy of my sexuality, bringing my sex energy on board is what actually really, really helped me out. And I there are other secrets, of course, that we'll be revealing in the course, that we're the 5-week course. But
talking about the course and that because what I'm hearing is they need to know is everything that you're sharing right now, even the way you came out, the way you came to the decision, the way you packaged things and prepared yourself to go out there, all that you're going to be sharing in the course.
Yeah, definitely. And everyone's path is a little bit different, but there are these core elements that are the same. And that's the kind of stuff that we want to support you in doing, and to realize that it's not just because Tazima or Naima or Eugenia are special people that we've got something different that other people don't have. No, we're regular people. We got bodies, we got fears, we got all of that. And it's real. It's real for us, just like it is for you.
So the course we're talking about is the 5-week coming out of the closet as a sex coach experience. It's this Saturday is the last day to register, and it's specifically for women entrepreneurs who work in the sexuality space, who are, you either fit one of two categories. Either you are not out yet, right? But you want to be out. You recognize that the reason why you're suffering and you're alone and you're not making the money and all this terrified stuff is going on with you is because you haven't come out and you're behind the scenes quiet. Or you already are out, but you are alone and you're playing small and you're self-doubting. So you're just sort of like getting crumbs of money here and there, if at all. You know that you have a lot to give, but you're not giving it because you haven't really declaratively decided that this is what you're going to do. And you don't have any support in how to really take it from a passion into an actual business. So that's who this 5-week coming out of the closet as a sex coach experience is for. It's going to be facilitated by myself and Tazima, who's going to be bringing her experience with coming out. And I'm going to be bringing my experience. And so I'm going to take it away now. May I?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So, my story starts long ago with dealing with sexual trauma as a girl, and then realizing that the traditional ways of healing didn't work for me. The traditional things of talk therapy, of going to read a nice healing book on a Sunday and cry and everything will be all right, or waiting for time to pass, etc. And what I found is a lot of women who work in the sexuality space, I'd say a good 85%, maybe even more, are drawn to the sexuality space because they have experienced trauma and they have either done a ton of healing already or they want to heal some more. And now they want to help other women heal. So I have such a respect and a special place in my heart because of my own personal experience and knowing what it even takes, what has happened in a woman's life for her to even go through her life to become a woman, and then want to bring that into the marketplace and help other women. So I have that, personal care about what it is that we're doing here. And so when I've been on the journey over 20 years of healing sexual trauma and really came out in 2014 because I had been working in the transformation space just generically as like this business empowerment coach and could never really get ahead the way I wanted to get ahead. And I went through a really dark, depressive time in 2013. And I've told this story a billion times, so I won't go into the details now. But I went into a really dark, depressive state and was like, God, right? Went into real prayer, like, God, where am I going? Like, what am I really going to do? If I knew what to do, I would have done it by now because I'm an ambitious woman. I'm an action taker. Like, I don't mess around. And it came to me that really coming out with this sexuality piece of me that I felt like had nothing to do with business. Like I was not hardly like even thinking about including sexuality in business in 2012 or even early 2013. And so it was when it was really clear to me, and this is a personal conversation. This is between you and you. I want it to be clear. Neither one of us can tell you that. It's a conversation between you and you, but then having that conversation honestly with yourself and then bringing that out to where you're on camera like this, on a Facebook Live, standing in front of an audience at your own workshop in your local town, speaking to someone at a coffee shop who asks you, so what do you do? And you being bold enough to actually say, I'm a sex coach, or I help women become sexually healed or empowered. That's a whole other thing. And that's what this 5-week experience is for. As I said, I've built a multiple 6-figure coaching business, and my first 6 figures was strictly me helping women heal sexual trauma. So for those of you who want to know if you can do it, you can do it. And I want to help you do it. Because listen, I'm not going to get off into this, even though I really, really could, but I want to say this. Our sexual being is a normal way. I know that it's so normal for the sex to be over there and for you to be here as if it's a separate thing. I know that that's the normal way of being around the world. I know sex is shamed. I know sex is thought of as not that big a deal by people who are undersexed and who are ashamed or who have been traumatized by religion. I know that there's a lot of negativity around sexuality, but I need everybody to understand that that has been organized and constructed over centuries. Religion and shame and patriarchy and fear have gotten us to where we are now, where people are so disconnected from their sexual selves and the power that is in it, that rape is now a culture. Like rape culture is a thing. You know what I mean? If we revered sexuality, took it out of the closet and not had it be this taboo, shameful thing, there would be no Me Too movement. There would be no patriarchy. There would be no rape culture. And so for those of you who really just know and you feel compelled to really help women and men, right? It's not just women, men and women, to really restore their sexual selves. And you know that you have a place in that because of your own healing, because of your own experience. Maybe you've already been sort of secretly working with people kind of quietly, the way Tazima was talking about, and you're really ready to come out in a community space, not just you, because you'll be supported, but you're really ready to come out in a community way and be a part of something much bigger than just sex coaching, but restoring sexuality on a global level, restoring the power of woman and man and relationship and connection. Then this 5-week coming out of the sex closet as a sex coach experience is so for you. There's a link that will be placed with this video. It should actually already be there, but if it's not, we will make sure we place it here when we hang up today. But you want to join the group. It's a private Facebook group of women entrepreneurs. Most of them are in the sexuality space. And so you can connect there, and then you can also get details about the experience. And the deadline to register is this Saturday. So I'll say more about that, but Eugene, I'll take it over to you.
Sure, sure. It's so amazing that you have actually mentioned about like sexuality being suppressed over the centuries, because even in the olden days, women were burnt as the witches on the fire because they were purely in touch with their sexuality, which gives such incredible power to the human, you know, that it's been considered that it's superpowers, that people are witches and do magic, when actually all it is, it just activates your entire self and magnetize everything that you're capable of. And it's like really enhancing every area of your life. So for sure, all this suppression and oppression of sexuality is being done for a reason, for people not to feel too powerful. And I feel so actually blessed to be working in this space and working with people who are looking to come out, you know, who are knowing or really thinking about that. Listen, my life is missing something that I cannot put the finger on. What is it? And when you keep searching, because when you search, you're always gonna find what you're looking for. You know, it's like by talking to one another, we always gonna find out something that resonates with us. So I'm so glad that there are women like you, Naima, Tazima, you know, that other sexual coaches in the sexual space that really are taking a stand for restoring the root of us all, you know, the root chakra, where we all came from, and normalizing the conversations about sexuality.
I want to say something. I know a lot of Eugenia's community is in and around the UK. And I spent some time in the UK, and we had the event in the UK. I've worked with women in the UK, talked to a lot of women in the UK. And there's definitely a culture of proper, right? That's the common term of being proper. And so I'm going to speak to this specifically because I know a lot of people in Eugenia's, orbit and in the UK are going to be watching this. My experience in the UK in dealing with British women versus American women. I know there's other women in the world, but I'm talking specifically about British women. There's this, because most people sort of, they pick their culture and they stick with their identity, etc. That's a limited way, okay, of thinking and being. And so what I found with a lot of British women, especially British coaches, British female entrepreneurs who are in the coaching space, sort of feel like, oh, American women can do that because that's cool in America and that's part of American culture, but I'm British and we don't do that over here. The beauty of being a coach, whether you're a sex coach or otherwise, and being online is that you get to touch a global marketplace. If you're online, we're online right now. I am sitting here in California, Tazima's in Illinois, and Gina's in the UK. Yeah. You can do the same thing as a sex coach and connect and do something with somebody in Australia, do something with a woman in the United States, do something with a man in Canada, and you got access to the global marketplace. So I want those of you who are watching this, who are in the UK and perhaps are thinking like, oh, well, they're in the US and somehow you're separating yourself from us saying you can't do it. I want you to know that you only can't do it if you say you can't do it. You can tap into the American culture and nobody's going to trip. Maybe in the UK, there's some kind of like, oh, this is an American. And in the United States, if you about it, you about it. And the people who want to play. Whether
Absolutely.
Whether you're Canadian, from Pakistan, Germany, Italy. Yeah. So I want those of you who are holding the belief as you're watching us, thinking that you can't. Tazima, you want to say something about that?
Yeah. I'm in the Midwest. This is Chicago. And that was also part of my come out story because I was in California when I started learning all this stuff. And like California, as Naima has said before, is its own entity. And then there's the rest of the states. Also, I am British colonial. So I am from Guyana, South America. I am not American. So I am very aware of common and proper and the difference betwixt them both. Okay. So the issue is not so much whether I have a special situation that's just perfect for me. No, I am literally one of the only people in Chicago who was teaching the sexuality practice that I was teaching, and the only one. And as I go to networking events, there are 17, financial advisors and 3 or 7, real estate agents, but there's only one me. By the way, when you're in a market like that where there aren't many folks doing the thing that you're doing, it is a boon. It is a gift. It is the most awesome thing because you stand out. You stand out. And by the way, like I said, at the networking thing, when you think it's going to be terrible and like people are going to talk shit behind you, like, oh, she's such a slut or whatever. Guess what? Those are the main ones who stop you in the bathroom and are like, so me and my husband are having a challenge. It's great.
Admire that. How did you get into that?
Yeah. And I want to say, like, when you step out as a sex coach or in the sexuality space, helping people with this. And by the way, this whole thing about, oh, I've been traumatized and not everyone in Western society has been traumatized sexually to one degree or another. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be having this Me Too conversation. Everyone has been violated sexually to one degree or another. And I'm not here to do comparative suffering. However, when we recognize that everyone has some hurt around this issue, it becomes super important. So if you happen to be one of the women that we're calling out to right now who has been like holding your horses and being like, I don't know if I can do this. Think about who you could help. That woman who is looking for someone who has had an experience like hers, who knows what she's going through, who needs some help, and you have the exact perfect words for her. This is our ticket. This is the moment. This is what we're up to. This is the important thing that we're out here doing so that we can actually share and like make a dent in this kind of global issue of like not being able to express ourselves sexually, not being able to hold ourselves as sexual beings, but we're victims of all of these monsters out here. That's not a place of power. And so for you as a coach or thinking about being a coach, sex coach, there's no time. We don't even have time to mess around. Like there's nothing that can contain like my enthusiasm about not only this course, but the possibilities of what we have to offer as women coming out and sharing our stories and not being invisible. Because that's actually what stops us from transcending this challenge that we're facing right now is our invisibility. So I'm inviting you to join us and check us out. So the Pussy Money link is for the event it will be in the description if it's not yet. Both people who are watching live now and the folks who are, you know what, I meant to say the other day, if you're watching this or you see what this video is and you have a secret sex coach that you go to, can you please share this video with her? Please share this video with her. You have asked somebody in secret. You sent them a message, a text message, like, girl, I need to talk to you. Please share this video with her, okay? Because she needs to be out.
Yeah. And even if you don't, and you know this will be valuable to your community, share this video out.
Exactly.
Just share it. Spread the love, because all of us here to have this amazing mission to bring the sexuality back to the surface and to really reinforce that this is normal. This is our life. This is where we all came from. Why are we ashamed of it? You know, in the end of the day, we all enjoy it. You know, or those who don't enjoy it, they want to enjoy it. They don't enjoy it for a reason. So it's like, if you have got, folks, by the way, if you have got any questions, please fire them away. By the way, few people are here. So Gozi says that, Naima, you are a powerhouse.
Gozi, I see you. Hey, darling. Hi, Jay.
Yes,
Hey,
Jay.
y'all.
Yes, so so thanks so much for tuning in with us. Ladies, so do you have anything else to add to our community, to say anything more about the course? So how do you actually start considering becoming a sexual coach or intimacy coach?
Oh, that's a good question, because there's
Yeah.
actually a woman who I spoke with last week who registered, and I had a conversation with her, and I wanted to know specifically why she enrolled, what it is she was looking for. And she said to me, she actually doesn't know the difference between sex therapist, sex coach, or, you know, sexuality expert and all that kind of a thing. So I'll say that for people who are wondering what's what. So first of all, it really is about who you are, and that's how you decide which route you're going to take. There's no right or wrong or one better than the other. It really is about your personal choice and who you are. If you are very independent, you don't like rules, you don't like people telling you what to do, you don't want to have to fit into an existing system, you should be a sex coach. You don't need any certification. It's not regulated. You can decide how much you want to charge. You can decide where you want to live. You can decide who you want to work with. You make all the rules. Sex therapists are regulated, and there's a certification involved. How does that work? I don't know, because I'm not a sex therapist, okay? I am a coach and mentor in the transformation space. So I make my own rules, and there's no regulation about how much I can charge, what can and can't be done, etc. So if you're somebody who really likes to be told how things go, you like to have somebody give you a structure, you want somebody to give you a range of what to charge, and sort of like have this bureaucracy involved, then you might want to consider sex therapy, and you go do the research on that. So that's how a person decides who they are, how they want to rock and roll, and then they make that decision. Because you can decide today that you're a sex coach, put the word out today, and get a client today. Okay. Yeah. So if you Absolutely. Like that kind of freedom, you should probably go the realm of being a sex coach. So it's strictly a decision. Mm-hmm. And what's going to happen either within or by the time you complete the 5-week course, for those of you who will be joining us, you will know what you want to be and if you're ready to come out. Yeah. That's our goal in this program, for you to know. You're going to have exercises that are going to help you decide definitively, oh, yes, I'm going. I got this. I can do this. I feel supported. I know who I am. I've met the truth of who I am, and my shame and my fear and my doubt. Or you're going to uncover in this 5 weeks, no, I can't, not now. This is not for me. And guess what? Neither one of those are good as bad. Then you will know, so then you can make a decision there where you're going to go. Because nothing is worse than purgatory. Being in the place of like, I don't know what I want to do is like literally the worst, most uncomfortable space. And I wanted to talk a little bit about, I'm going to add a couple of cents here about the difference between the therapists and the educators and the coaches. Within 5 minutes. Sure. Educators, if you really want to share with people, you want to teach, you want to be on stage, that's an educator. And that also has rules and regulations around it. Therapists also, on the therapy side, you need a master's degree at minimum. There are going to be certifying bodies, like Naima said. And some people really like the regulations of that, and there are many schools, and inside of the 5-week group, I can share some resources about what that is. You can also do a online search, but coaches, being a coach also adds a lot of freedom. And the other thing that you need to know, if you're making this choice about being a coach today, getting in touch with what it takes inside of you to hold your own value. When someone says, what's the training that you got? Okay, to be able to hold that for yourself is something that we're going to be talking about in the 5-week course. So know that. So you can make this decision all day, but if you can't hold your own value, you're still not going to make any money. I don't care how many certifications you get. I don't care whether you got a master's. And as a sex coach, for most of us, your value comes from your life experience. Exactly. So that's a whole other thing that we're going to have you address and get clear about, and start to really revere something that is so normal and natural for you that it's easy for you to discount, right? So that's what I found with most sex coaches and the women who are really drawn to this on a personal level. It's their experiences that qualifies them and really separates them from all the other people who, got inspired because they went to a workshop or, that kind of thing. So exactly. That's all I have to say. Eugenia, did you want to say anything in closing?
Well, I got to say that, you know what? My life I have never looked back since I came out as an intimacy and sex coach, as my life just like falls, like it just like happens. It just flows. Like somehow magically I meet right people. I create right things. It's like, it just flows. It's so amazing that I cannot just put things in words, So guys, if you even consider it, or even thinking that, hey, maybe I can be the one to change somebody's life in such a level that where the life begins from the root, then definitely contact Naima, contact Tazima. They're going to be more than happy to give you their expertise and maybe have a chat with you beforehand. Ladies, is there any particular way to contact you, the best way? That if people have got questions,
they should join the group. They should click the link and join the group.
Yeah. Right. So you heard that. So if you have got any questions about how to become an intimacy and sexuality coach, please contact the ladies, and join the universal language of love.
Yeah, so it's the 5-week coming. It's called the 5-week coming out of the closet as a sex coach experience. So we look forward to connecting with those of you who will be joining the group or joining the experience. So thank you so much, ladies, for being here. It's been such a joy to see you. Thank you so much for having us here with us.
It has been indeed. And hopefully see you again very soon.
Oh, indeed.
for now, I think that I would like to say goodbye to our audience. So thanks so much for joining us today. And okay, so Jay is asking for the link, so that's fantastic. Well,
We'll put that with the video.
now I would like to say goodbye to everybody and keep on joining us on Facebook Lives. You for sure can message and join the group if you have got any questions. And otherwise, I'll see you next time. And
see you. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.